for all things Halloween. This is Hauntformer, and today we are getting this show on the road. I bought the supplies to put together that shed that's going to go behind the Fisherman, kind of his little fishing shack. And we are going to assemble it and bring it over to the farm and finally put it together, because basically I'm building 3 walls of a semi-structure. Now you might be saying, Hauntformer, this shed kind of looks a little... And to that I say, it's a ramshackle shed, okay? What do you expect? It's supposed to look weird, and it's perfect for a hiding spot for some actors. When you see it out there by the water, ooh, it looks cool. When the fisherman's out by it, just stay tuned. So this shed, this shack, what is essentially a glorified wall with 3 sides, is made using a combination of treated pressurized wood and fencing slats, as a matter of fact, these fencing panels. And by the end of this, you may even say, Hauntformer, this looks a bit like a fence. And that's because it essentially is. However, when I add all the decor to it, as you'll see in a moment, and put it out by the water, it turns into a nice little facade that I can use next to our rocking Fisherman out on the water. So, essentially, what you're going to do is cut those longer pieces of treated wood to fit the length, or the width, rather, of your little facade. Though you also will need length and width, so you're going to have to do it for either regardless. Once you get that, you can begin to drill in the fencing panels and kind of create a half box, if you will. Not a completed box, because we need somewhere for the actor or whoever it may be to hide behind it. So once you have the kind of semi-structure form, you then can go back and start adding in the little details, the painting, the decorations, you know, the fun stuff. I started with various coats of paint from different spray paints. As you can see, some green was used, as well as some gloss paint to kind of make it look wet out there on the water, which I think is appropriate. Then I began adding some of the little details. For instance, the nautical netting, which I thought really added character to it. I also used what was essentially a little buoy that I found at the store, which I thought really gave it something to work with, in addition to a little bobber lure thing. So all of these together added to create this final product. Of course, I had to screw a lot of this together and in. Is it a little flimsy? Yeah, but you know what? I think it's pretty darn cool regardless. Just another day on the farm. Now you might be saying, hey, Hauntformer, doesn't this look a little crooked to you? Yeah, that's kind of the intention. I mean, it'll probably be moving by the time it's October. But if you're a OCD kind of person, there you go. Got this creepy hanging hand from Spirit Halloween. This will be the bait and tackle shop, aka the storage shed, for all of the Port Chum stuff. Let's see if you can see that hand. Yeah, you can see the hand in there. It'll be even better at night. I bought a flicker bulb as well, so it'll be flickering around in there. Very creepy. And now, the Port Chum sign is rocking and rolling out here. But there's much to do. Except for that thing. I got that thing up. So, I have a new idea around here, because David DK informed me that this whole ramp is actually, is actually not going to be used for the queue line. Instead, where I am currently standing will be instead. So, I have an interesting plan B.
So this ramp is typically the handicap access. And so if the guests are all going to be waiting in like a little queue line here, you can see the sign is up. And I put the little creepy hand in the window for the time being. I'll have to take it down when he does his fall festival. Let me make this wider. And here's the idea. The reason that this ramp is here is because typically the hayride pulls up this way. However, for Halloween, David said that they're going to pull this way. Therefore, the ramp is useless in this scenario. However, it's not useless to me. Because I'm going to be right there scare acting at the front quarter of the hayride, or the trail, or whatever you want to call it, I can easily come here. This still looks like a dock. I can still put some nautical props up here, and I can actually scare act while in the queue. I can be both the line greeter and the first scarer of the haunt. Because as people are loading, I'm going to jump down. I can run over here. And as they're loading up, they may or may not see me. I don't really care. And I can get into position to scare them. As you can see, Jaden's haunted house, the circus facade is going up. You can see that there is a great big clown head over there. I'm not sure how well you can pick that up. Let me see if I can zoom in. There you go. Over here, there's no facade up yet, but that is where Brian Wyckoff's haunt from Wyckoff Adventures will go. And then right here is where the hayride will be. So we're all pretty interconnected. This area right here is going to be devoted to the scare zone, and the theme this year is AI apocalypse. Obviously, you know we can pull it off, especially when your boy loves me some robots. Even the pony is excited for Halloween, isn't that right? Yes. In case you ever wanted a live walking tour, so to speak, of Port Chum, well, here you go. They start there. That's the little bait and tackle store. The unit will pull around this way and continue until it goes through these gates, which will be wide open. First stop's going to be the sign. This jurisdiction until the tree is probably going to be the area where I will be scaring. There are planned to be 4 scarers in total, actors that will switch out sometimes for availability purposes. There's going to be more stuff out here too. This is just kind of, if all in theory, I suppose. It is September after all. Here is the Fisherman's area, I think, where he's going to be casting his line out into the water. And we're going to head down this way. I'm thinking of hanging something from the tree, or possibly even having something coming out of the water here. We will see. The thing is, unlike last year where the hayride unit was down low on a trailer, this one is a legit hayride unit. It's up very high, which is very nice, but it also means we're going to have a different point of view from that vantage point. On the other side of this tree, right around this area, maybe he can even be coming out of this brush here, is where Deathstalker will go and blast the unit with his fog. I'd like to get it scented, if possible, to be either fish or salt water or something to that effect to put people in the scene. There is also a tree up here I could possibly have something hanging from it. I do have the dead mermaid prop, so I'm going to need to figure out where she will go. As we continue down, the thing is, it's hard to have a lot of props on this side because of this steep, kind of angle to this land. I'll also have to make a note for the actors to be cautious. I don't want anyone tumbling and turning into a zombie themselves. So it seems like there will be a lot going on over here. And then when they come around the opposite direction, I suppose we could flip-flop in terms of who's acting on what side. When we get about, I don't know, yay, this will be the territory of actor number 2. Anywhere from that tree to about this point. There'll be some zombies out here. Actor number 3 will probably be from around here to this tree. And again, there's a bit more land right here, so I could potentially put some stuff here. All dependent on what power it needs. Hopefully not too much, because most of the power will end at about that tree. I have a cord going to about that tree, and with an extension, I can probably reach it to that one, but I don't want to keep connecting cords upon cords. We'll go underneath here. It'll be all nice and spooky at night with some creepy lighting. Lighting really is half the battle out here, because at night it gets so extremely dark. Then the hayride will take you here. You have a nice scenic view. At night, this is really creepy too, with the water. Maybe I'll even have some glowing water effects if I can get the lights to cast down into the darkness. They make a U-turn around here, I believe. And right around this tree is where actor number 4, the big monster, will come out and give one final scare, although they have to go back the way they came. So I suppose that monster could really chase them for a little ways until we get back to the coverings of these trees. Now, take note, this whole facility is not ours, so I'm not gonna obviously mess with it in any way. However, for the purposes of Port Chum, this is the fish factory, so expect some crates out here and things of that sort. It'll be all well and good. It's cool to see how this hayride is changing. Last year, as I mentioned, Jaden didn't really have a lot of time to work on it, so it was just mostly costumes and actors, maybe like a couple lights and a couple props here and there. Now that I'm taking over it, I can fine-tune it a bit, but it will take experimentation. It may even change over the course of the event, depending on what I think is lacking. You even might see stuff like that happen, which honestly would spook me at night if an animal or critter did something like that. What's really cool about this is, even without anything out here, this area is just really spooky at night, and with the glow of like the moon on the water, perfect for Halloween. He really quite sets the scene out here pretty darn well. As you can see, I want him facing the water because he's going to be fishing, but I also want a little bit of him so people can actually see him. So I'm thinking like maybe about that's good. I think that's a good angle. I don't think I'm going to have him talking or eyes lit up or even the fish, anything. Just rocking, creepy. I really think it's going to look well. Then I'm going to have some lights over here on him and stuff. Going to be quite the cool display out here. I also think what might be cool is to have a little fish crate by him out here, because maybe he's collecting fish for the fish factory. Kind of piecing together a little bit of lore, a little bit. As you come over here, I did put some fish crates out. Now keep in mind, they're not all going to go here. I definitely want a couple by the factory to look like they're being shipped out, so you kind of, you know, piece those things together. But here's just a couple. I'll probably leave a couple up here just for prop purposes, maybe put a light on them, and probably have some corpses up here. And I just put some here for now, right beneath the bait and tackle window. Pretty sweet. Gosh, what a beautiful area out here. Gonna be super creepy come October. And now you can see I've placed a little bit of nautical netting both over here, which I think that looks pretty darn cool, and right along here. Actually, let me move the stepladder real quick. You can see the nautical netting. It goes from the fish buckets up there. I think that looks pretty darn cool. I'm actually really excited to continue both in the queue line and in the haunt. I might even order more netting because it's pretty cheap and it really sets the scene well. I want people to know while they're here that this is a nautical-based hayride, so that way they can understand it and enjoy themselves better. And once again, nothing is set in headstone here, but I did put a couple of little props in the window just to fill it out. You know, that candle could flicker with the flame effect that'll already be in there. And I had this cool hook that I bought at the store, attached it up there, and put the bloody fish. This is just one of many places where bloody fish will be present, so don't worry, the haunt will have plenty. And as the sun sets, first of all, you can see how creepy it gets out here really quick. Look at how dark it is. Oh my gosh. Shows the importance of lighting, by the way. But I wanted to show off the sign because I added some paint. I had 3 different shades or colors. I used the clear coat to shine it up to look wet, black, and green to add kind of an algified look to it, make it a little more creepy looking. And there you can see the sign out here. I'll also go over here real quick, show you the fisherman before I bring him inside for the night. There's his little fishing crate. There he is sitting out here all creepy. And here is his little shack, or whatever you'd like to call it. He looks so creepy out here. Like if you took away the light, like look at that. If I can frame it up right. Look at him just sitting out here in the dark. That is super creepy. I cannot wait for the folks coming to Fearville to experience the terror of Port Chum. I can't do it as good as Patrick, I'm sorry.